Welcome to the Sage 50C Project Tracker demonstration. The Sage Project Tracker module allows you to manage your projects, associated budgets, and costs while providing in-depth reporting, keeping you in control of the financial position of each project, thus enabling you to monitor profitability. So what does the Project Tracker offer you? Enhanced budget, creation per project, income statements per project, allocation of expenses and income per transaction per project, linking invoices and goods received notes to projects, and reporting groups linked to various project codes. Now, like with any of our other modules, we're able to edit, which is where we create our projects. We're able to process in those projects, and the most important thing is to be able to view those transactions of the projects or the actual projects that have been done. So, as a brief overview, when you go on your edit tab and you scroll down to projects, you will notice that the projects tab is no longer grayed out, which means that you now have access to this module. Now with Project Tracker, you're able to set up budgets for the different groups. You're able to select project groups if you're going to use project groups, and you're able to set up the actual projects themselves. Now, just briefly, we'll go through the budgets of it, where you can set up your budget for the current year or for the next year. So in this case, we've created a wizard which is called the Project Budget Assistant, and we'll select the entering of individual budget accounts as an example. We will go next. You can decide whether you're working on next year or current year budgets. In this case, we will go current year, and then we will go next, and then you will decide whether you want to do it per account, per financial category, or per report writer category. If you want to select everything, we simply go next, and then we'll have our accounts populated for us. Now we can choose to do it per percentage or per value. So when you go to the next tab, you'll see that you're able to put a value there, and the previous screen had a percentage of that. As you go to the different accounts, you will see that you'll be able to put the different values per month there. Once the operation is complete, you will then be able to select finish, and you're able to go and create groups. Now the group creation only applies if you'll be using project groups. There's an example that we can use here. So as an example, we can choose to report per country, per city, or just per project. To simplify what project groups are your reporting groups. So you will see here we can set up different countries. Now those countries would then be South Africa, United Kingdom, or Australia. So it means when we do the reporting, we're able to report South Africa versus the United Kingdom versus Australia. In South Africa, we can then set up a reporting group of cities. So what that means is if we're reporting per city, we can report per city within South Africa, so Johannesburg versus Durban, or we can even compare Johannesburg versus Liverpool, which is in the United Kingdom, or Perth versus Liverpool, which is Johannesburg, which is across the three different countries. So this is where you would use your project groups. Now when it comes to the actual projects, you would simply go back to edit, and then you will go to projects. Now if you have selected project groups, your project groups would be linked to your project groups would be linked to your projects. Now when you create our project, we've got a project that's set up already here. We've got a government tender, which is one of our projects. So that means that when we need to do anything related to this project, we will need to specify that it's going under this project. Now we'll go on to the processing. Now you would process the same way you would process your customer invoice or your supplier invoice. Now for the purpose of this example, we will go and process a customer invoice. You will notice now that you will have a project tab available to you, which means that as we go and we process, let's find any customer. You will notice that when you select whatever item it is that you want to sell or transact, you are then able to pick up your project and then thereby making it much easier for you to process. So that will happen with your customers, it will also happen with your suppliers. That is the processing part of it. The most important part, obviously, is to be able to run your report. Now that your processing is done, the next step is for us to view the project reports. And you'll notice that when you go to the view tab and you scroll down to projects, you now have a list of different project reports available. So you've got a project report, you can list all of your projects, you can have your project summary, you can have the standard income statement and the periodic income statement, as well as a 2-year income statement. And remember, in the beginning we said we can have budgets, so you can also list your budgets, and you can see your budget variance as well. For the purpose of this demonstration, to keep it short, I will do a standard income statement. We will ignore that. We'll print that through to our screen. It will process this for us, and it should be coming up on our screen shortly. And there you would have your, if we've processed any transactions, you would then be able to see our current month, our year to date, our sales, cost of sales. So you'll find that you'll have your income statement for that particular project. This is very useful because it helps you and it avoids the situation of cross funding, and it also gives the business owner the ability to be able to make informed decisions. So once again, you're able to create your projects, your project groups, as well as your as well as your budgets. You are able to process as you would process a customer invoice or a supplier invoice normally, and then thereafter you're able to view either the list of your projects, the income statements, or your budget listings of that. I hope this has been informative for you, and should you have any questions, queries, do not hesitate to contact our sales team, and they will be able to assist you and take you and give you some more information further. Thank you